Tuesday, August 27th. I'm Abby.
And I'm Reagan.
Please join us for a moment of silence followed by the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Archers. Happy Monday to everybody.
And thanks for giving us some time here today because we're going to kind of go through the handbook a little bit, which I know you guys have been looking forward to for years and years and years. All summer you've been thinking, oh my gosh, I can't wait till Mrs. Harper and Mr. Kaufman get on and give us all this information.
Fun.
3 days of school already underway this year, and
I felt
like
we're really off to a good start.
I do too. I think we've had a great beginning. We have more students in this building than we've had for a while, so that's a good thing.
Well, the handbook, as you guys know, used to be an agenda, and everybody used to get an agenda back in the day with a calendar and everything else. Now all of that's gone to Google when you use your Canvas and on your Chromebooks, and so now we have a digital handbook. So there are some things that Mrs. Harper and I would like to highlight for everybody within that student handbook. Part of your packet was to take home the student teacher or the student handbook certification form with the big triangle of success on the front of it and have that signed. So remember, all of your handbook packet, all of those slips need to be turned into your first period teacher if not already done so.
And basically having that signed means you and your parents have looked through these guidelines.
Yes.
That's why we just thought we would take some time and just highlight a few of those.
So we're just going to highlight some passages here in the handbook just to make reminders to all students as we start the year. One of the key points is just remembering about secured entrances here at Discovery, noting that everything is locked at all times and that we never ever let anyone in any of our doors at any time. We do have a system where visitors come into door A, and we have video surveillance, and we ask them questions, and then we let them in at that point for visiting guests. But students should never allow an adult at any other entrance to come into the building.
Right. Sometimes parents or a visitor might come back to door D, but we have a camera there and we direct them to come to the front. So it is very important that you don't let anyone in at any time. At the beginning of the day, I know sometimes students are sitting in the lobby and you let friends in, but even that, really, we should be very cautious about doing those things, keeping our buildings secure.
Yep. Hall traffic has been going very well. We just ask you to follow the patterns that you would if you were driving an automobile, which is everybody stays to the right.
They won't be driving an automobile. It will be all self-drive cars. I feel so sad. You guys won't get the
cars?
Yes, you won't get the opportunity to be behind the wheel, I feel, and be in control. We'll see.
So just a reminder that we use the right steps of the commons and that we go to the right when we're going down and the right when we're going up. And you guys have been following that. Sixth graders, you plugged yourselves right into that, so we appreciate it.
Hall passes, basically each classroom has a sign-in, sign-out sheet for restroom. Honestly, when I was a teacher, unless it was an emergency, you weren't leaving the classroom because leaving the learning environment is tough. To catch up on every little thing that goes on, all the group work that's going on. So basically that should be done during passing time and it should be taken care of during lunchtime. So not many passes during the class periods is kind of my philosophy.
If you're not feeling well, we do have a nurse that is here at Discovery in the main office area. We just ask that you make sure that you always check in with your teacher first, and then they will write you a pass to come down to the nurse. If it is passing period, you still need to go to that next class, talk with your teacher, get a pass from them to come down. We don't allow students to come in during their passing period and just sit down there with the nurse because your teacher will wonder where you're at. It's a safety concern. And then she will help to communicate to home as needed. So she will check and then allow you to make a call home as needed to a parent.
Also, we're doing something different this year. You guys are all probably aware of by now. We're taking roll every period. So that kind of comes in play too, that a pass is basically only used on an emergency basis.
And we will start having our emergency drills actually later this week. And so we will talk more about emergency drills and procedures as we have those come at the start of the school year here. I'll get on the all-call and we'll explain how those procedures work. I know that many of your teachers have also talked with you about drills and emergency procedures within their classroom setting as
I've
well.
noticed a lot of classes kind of
Yeah,
practicing
which is
that
really,
and walking
really
through
good.
it. Then when it happens, you know exactly what to do. So,
Yep.
and it is true that we will have planned drills, so you'll know ahead of time, and we talk through, most importantly, it's being quiet, moving with the teacher leading the group, leading them outside, doing that quickly, getting right in place so we can make sure we have everyone there, and then bringing students back in. So make those safe times too.
Yep.
I think we talked about visitors. The other thing is guidance. So you each have a guidance counselor. Mrs. Bader is A through K, and Mrs. Ward is L through Z. You should have noticed the guidance office. Sixth graders, I know you had that explained during your tour, but now when you're in, sometimes it's like, now where is that? Where do I go? So the guidance office sits kind of outside the main office, and you're welcome to stop in there. Usually their door is even open, and there's a sign-in sheet if you want to talk with your counselor, and then they will get back in touch with you. So we're happy to have our counselors, and usually they're in lunches, so you get to kind of see them and get to know them better.
So we already talked about the school nurse, and we also want to remember it's very, very important that students, you remember that you are not to have any types of medication on you at any time. That means in your locker, in your backpack, in your pocket, on your person. All medications must be administered through our nurse's office. So it's really important, whether it's prescribed medication or over-the-counter medication, all of those prescriptions and over-the-counter medications need to be administered through the nurse. Students, never, ever, ever would you give another student a medication of any kind. That's a very big safety concern. Obviously, we don't know who might have an allergic reaction, and there are some medications that the nurse will have for headaches or minor aches and pains that are over the counter that she can give to students if your parents have signed the permission form for that to be able to happen.
So I guess basically if you're not feeling well, ask your teacher, go to the nurse.
Yep.
And that happens occasionally, so it's better to just go there and figure things out always.
Also, just a reminder, if you do have a prescribed medication that you do want to take here at school, remember to have your parent bring that medication in. They physically have to come into the main office and turn that in to the nurse. They should not give it to you to take on the bus to school. All right, so that includes the bus as well. So make sure that your parents are following that procedure. You can help them out with that.
So we talk a little bit about student fundraising,
Yay!
which I thought, student
Wow.
fundraising,
Oh,
well,
is that different than our
that's
school-wide fundraiser?
different than
Okay.
school
'Cause
fundraising.
we have our school-wide fundraiser starting tomorrow.
So as much as I love the fact that students can be entrepreneurs and come up with great ideas of selling something or making something, it's really not permitted here at school. You can't bring something to school and set up your own shop. So that has to happen outside of the school day. Even though you're quite clever at making some, your fortune, you know, some of these, I think Facebook, how old was he when he first started some of this stuff? It was like, oh my gosh.
19, 18,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, student fundraising, student valuables, it's just making sure that you don't bring anything to school that is something you treasure and that is expensive, because school is a social place, and sometimes we either leave something sitting somewhere, leave it in a restroom, and then we panic because we can't find it. So just make sure that you don't bring valuables to school, and that you always bring your cell phone in, turn it off, put it in your locker at the beginning of the day, and then you can get that at the end of the day in case you need to contact your parent. It's really not expected that you pull your cell phone out and use it while you're in the restroom to text mom, or for mom or dad to text you during the school day. We have lots of phones still in this building, the old-fashioned type that are actually hooked to a cord.
You have to push the buttons on them.
And that we will take care of it in that way. So be careful with valuables, also remembering about your cell phone.
And we do have a procedure for lost and found items here at Discovery. A lot of times what your teachers will do is if they find something on the floor, they're going to put it in the corners of the hallway. There are usually tables out in the corners of the hallway or benches in the 6th grade area. 6th graders, I would always check there first for your belongings, and then if you don't find them there, we do keep lost and found in the main office as well. So, and retrace your steps. That's another good thing to do.
Yeah, that's what I always
Yep.
had trouble with people remembering where they put things, and it's sitting right there.
Right.
The other piece is about field trips, and usually grade levels all take one field trip. DC is the biggest field trip that I feel like we take outside of our Europe and China trips. I really encourage all of our students to go to DC. It is the ultimate field trip. After you've studied American history and government in 8th grade, then to go into Gettysburg and on into Washington, D.C. together as a class is just a remarkable experience. So I encourage all students to find a way, or if you need a scholarship or assistance in any way, don't hesitate to email me or write me a note, come by and see me, and I will work with you to make sure that we can make this happen, because I think DC is an amazing experience. Our PTO helps with script. If you don't know about that, you can ask some of your classmates, because a lot of our parents are involved in script and can save money for their students' DC trip that way.
And if you're an 8th grader this year, remember that most of your cookie dough sale will directly go into your trip account as well.
And that's a good segue into the cookie dough sale.
Yes, so we are having our school-wide fundraiser. It will kick off tomorrow with Mr. Tornquist. We're really excited about it this year. There's going to be some really awesome incentives for our school. And this year, what I have heard is that the Schmucker Spartans, is it Spartans?
Spartans.
Spartans, they really want to beat us, because every year we have beat them with the cookie dough sale. And for whatever reason, this year they're really out to get us.
Well, we did make, what, 26,000 last
Yes.
year, students?
So-
and honestly, we spent all of that.
We did.
$26,000 last year on clubs.
On clubs and fun.
Activities, materials, every bit of that fun. Because sometimes I'll have $5,000
Right.
left over to kind of carry over to the next year, and we didn't. So we love having our clubs. We like to have as many as students want to have and can attend. And our staff really is great about sponsoring our clubs, so we
So we're excited. We'll get that kicked off tomorrow, and then in 6th period, we'll get the packets out to all of you, and you'll have about 3.5 weeks to sell the awesome cookie dough. It'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So we also did get our I-STEP back at the end of last year, and we will be sharing that information out with students, and we usually use that as we prepare for our student-led conferences in October. We're going to have some new testing, different testing this year that aligns with our new iLearn testing. I am so happy to announce that we're not going to have 2 big sessions of I-STEP this year. Instead, we will just have the one beginning after spring break. So we won't have to shut down the school and get all stressed out in
One
February.
instead of 2? Woohoo!
That's really good news.
It is good
So
news.
we will be talking about that. You're going to be taking an interim test that kind of gives you an idea of where you are with grade level standards. This year, it's going to be totally grade level standards. For students who continue to level out with more complex problems, you will be doing that with this test, but it's still within grade level. So it's going to be a little different, but a lot similar. The different part is the good part of minimizing our tests down to 1. So we'll be talking more about that later. So I think
Yeah, one more piece real quick, because we were talking about clubs and activities, and I know you were really chomping at the bit, some of you, to get involved in clubs. Just a quick reminder, because I know we need to head out here, that that list and your sponsors coordinate it will come out about middle of September, and I will post that to Canvas for everybody.
And we'll have it on our website and
will.
make sure we announce it here through WDMS. Our crew down here does an amazing job keeping all of
do.
our students informed, and we appreciate you guys very much for making this happen today.
So teachers, at this time, you'll notice that there's a place on the Aim High calendar to click to go to survival skills. So some of the things that we're talking about, students, within the handbook are also discovery survival skills that we want everyone to have this year. So we're going to take a little bit of time to start reviewing that today, and we'll keep reviewing that tomorrow. Tomorrow on WDMS, Mrs. Harper and I will be back on to talk about the code of conduct here at Discovery and in PHM, as well as those survival skills, and then we'll kick off our fundraiser.
All right, sounds great.
So have a great day, Discovery.
See you guys.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Today's lunch is chili with toppings, hot dog, sriracha honey chicken, brown rice, green peas, and mandarin oranges. Spellable season will be underway. Please stop by Coach Gibbons in room 203 if you have not received the word list. Stay tuned for information on the first practice. Tennis has started and meets every morning at 7:20 till September 7th. Enter using the Commons door. Questions see Miss White. Don't forget to check your school email each day. Have a great day, Discovery. Bye.